I'm going to tell you about the day a lie walked into a mansion in Savannah and almost took my name with it. Picture a quiet library with ceilings too high for regular folks and portraits of men who never mopped a floor. I'm on the rug with my arms around Miss Evelyn Hart, her breath thin, her hands shaking, and Sloane Mercer, the fiancée with the perfect smile and a temper like broken glass, swings a heel into my hip and hisses that I need to know my place. I whisper to Miss Evelyn, "To breathe, sweetheart. Just breathe. Because that's what you do when you've promised someone's daughter you'll keep her mama safe." Then Lucas Hart steps into the doorway, tall and polished and sure of his money, sees a crying fiancée, a frail mother, a black caregiver clutching tight, and he chooses the wrong story. "Get away from my mother," he snaps. I try to explain, but power loves the sound of itself. He fires me like it's nothing. Yeah, that happened. I walk out past a bowl of green apples. No one eats down the steps into rain, heavy enough to clean the street, but not the shame. My Corolla hums like it's held together by prayer. The motel off I-16 has a neon V that blinks out of the word vacancy. The room smells like lemon cleaner and last year's cigarettes. I sit with my ribs throbbing where her heel found bone, and I write it down in a spiral notebook, because if you don't write it, the lie starts rewriting you. I lost another job today, not for what I did, but for who I am. I would do it again. I couldn't let her hurt that woman. I hold a silver hummingbird pin Miss Evelyn pressed into my palm 2 weeks back. "For luck," she said, and let the metal cool my hand until the shaking stops. Morning comes with diner coffee and kindness from Pearl, the waitress who calls everyone honey and slides a slice of peach pie like medicine. Little mercies keep you from hardening. You know what I mean? I go back to the motel and something small rattles in my jacket pocket. A micro SD card labeled Guest Wing Cam. I stare like it might bite, then borrow the lobby laptop that sounds like it runs on hamster wheels. I click the file and there it is, not 4K. Just truth, Miss Evelyn sitting with a book, Sloane pacing the shove, the teacup, me rushing in whispering, "Please stop, she's not well," Sloane's voice going from magazine soft to mean as a slap. Then the kick, then Lucas walking in at the exact second a lie is most believable. Then my face when he fires me open and stunned. I copy the clip to a flash drive with hands that won't steady and write a note to Rosa Alvarez, the head housekeeper, who treats me like kin. "This is what really happened for Miss Evelyn's sake. Please show him." I slide it into a plain brown envelope and listen to it disappear down the mail chute like a heartbeat. Meanwhile, at the mansion, doubt taps on Lucas's glass. He asks Sloane where the bruise is, if she was shoved. She rolls her eyes and says, "Are you calling me a liar?" Luke, and he does what people raised on good optics do, he stays quiet, lets the lie wear his suit a little longer, until my envelope lands on his tray like something ticking. He opens it in a room where the art costs more than my entire block. He plugs in the drive, and the house's smallest eye tells him what his pride wouldn't later. He'll say the truth, hit like a fist to the chest, and the sound of his own voice firing me made his stomach turn. He texts me from a number. "I don't know, Tasha. It's Lucas, I've seen it. Please meet me." I stare until the screen dims. Pride says, "Let him sit in it." Duty says, "Miss Evelyn needs you." Duty wins at a coffee shop off Bull Street with fogged windows and a barista who looks like he plays bass at night. He slides an envelope with too many zeros, and I slide it back. "You can't buy back dignity. You can only live like you understand what it's worth." He doesn't argue, just says, "He fired the wrong person. He chose the version that hurt the woman, protecting his mother." I let him sit in that sentence. He says he's ending the engagement and wants to build a fund in Miss Evelyn's name for caregivers, nurses, housekeepers, The quiet heroes, I tell him, build it for her, not for me. And he nods like someone finally talking to himself straight. Sloane does what cornered people do. She attacks the messenger posts, cropped photos, and a caption about angels in dark masks. It trends by lunch because the internet loves a story it can pretend it knows, Lucas calls his attorney, and a reporter who's been fair. We release the full footage. No edits, no soundtrack. Let the truth play. The city goes quiet in that way. Towns do. When a name they praised drops a few letters, Sloane's publicist says the clip is out of context. Miss Evelyn's bruises don't come with footnotes. I don't step back into that house until Miss Evelyn calls my name down the stairwell, like church bells. Tasha, honey. Is that you? I carry her tea with the lemon slice she likes, and sit on the edge of her chair. She apologizes for not speaking when it mattered. I tell her she owes herself peace, not me. Rosa wipes at her eyes and pretends it's dust. Lucas leans on the mantel, looking like a man preparing to rebuild from the beams. Out he asks me to help lead the fund, not as staff, as a partner. And I say I will think about it, because a yes is heavier when you know you can carry a no. Night falls, thunder rolls, and the phone rings from a blocked number. Sloane's voice is calm in the way a tide sounds calm when it's pulling you out. You think you've won, she says. You think a video makes you righteous. Truth only matters if you live long enough to enjoy it. Click. We double the security, and still, sometime after midnight, the front door breathes wrong, and I wake up knowing it. I slip into the hallway in a sweater and socks and see her by the library, hair, wet eyes cracked, a small pistol trembling in her hand. Saint Tasha, she says, always on cue. I keep my hands where she can see them. This isn't the move, I tell her. You're scared. Anger isn't control. Lucas steps out with both palms up. Sloane, put it down. Nobody has to get hurt. And from the staircase, we hear the one voice none of us can ignore. Miss Evelyn, baby, don't do this. You've done enough. Lightning pops. The gun barks, the banister splinters, and my body moves faster than my fear. I tackle Miss Evelyn, wrap her tight, take the marble in my shoulder so she doesn't. Lucas kicks the gun away and calls 911 with a voice that's done being polite. Sloane looks at her empty hands and whispers, I didn't mean... Maybe she didn't, but she runs into the storm anyway. Officers come, questions get asked, I say. I don't want to press charges. You can argue with me about that. Maybe mercy was the only thing left in the house not broken. Maybe it was foolish, you decide. By morning, lawyers have filed their papers. Sloane threatens injunctions and defamation suits 3 counties over. Lucas releases one statement that sounds like a man who traded PR for a spine. The truth requires no defense. My family stands with integrity, and I stand with the people who showed it. When I did not, the city gossips, then adjusts, then moves on, and the brass plaque goes up on the fence. The Evelyn Hart Collective. Compassion, courage, dignity. Inside, we set scholarships for home health, aides finishing school, microgrants for housekeepers who get denied sick time, a backup line for elders, so the person holding them up never has to do it alone. It isn't charity, it's a correction, and it changes the sound of the mansion. Laughter comes back. Music comes back. One afternoon, I play an old hymn on the dusty piano, and Lucas leans in the doorway like a man afraid to scare off a bird. You never told me you could play, he says. You never asked, I tell him. He grins and calls that fair. Months pass, and the billboard for Sloane's skincare line peels over Highway 17, her smile fading at the edges. Sometimes I wonder if she found a place to face herself. Rumor says Europe, rumor says rehab. We don't chase her. We don't hold press conferences about winning. We go to work, and that feels like the cleanest victory, a house that finally sleeps, a woman who hums while she waters her ferns, an inbox full of stories. We can say yes to. Lucas asks if I ever think about leaving Savannah. And I say the city is like family. It hurts you and holds you all at once. He laughs through his nose and says, that's exactly how he feels. Miss Evelyn sits beneath the magnolia with a shawl and tells the board what she's known all her life. Compassion is not weakness. It's the quiet power that rebuilds the broken. We engrave it on a plaque, because some truths deserve brass. If you want the twist, it wasn't when Lucas believed me. It was when I realized I didn't need him to. The truth stood on its own 2 feet, and all I did was keep showing up for it. Power talks loud. Proof doesn't talk at all. It just plays, and if you're brave enough to listen, it will cost you something. A fiancé, your pride, the easy version of yourself. But it buys you back your name, so tell me, was mercy the right call? When Sloane broke into that house, should we have pressed every charge and made an example, or does letting the truth live longer than her headlines feel like the real justice to you? Have you ever had someone weaponize class or polish to write a false story about you? What did you do when the camera or the mirror finally told the truth? Drop your take, call me out back, me up. Tell me where you're watching from and whether your town believes proof or power. I'll be in the comments listening the way I wish someone had listened sooner.